What do you do when you feel like it's just you and no one else around you seems to have that drive to get stronger and better in the gym and in life? So that's semi-typical. That's semi-typical, especially if you really kind of lock in. You got a little extra just like drive and kind of hype for the stuff that you're getting into. You look around and you're like, man, shit, fucking, why isn't everybody else doing it how I'm doing it? And it's a little bit of a flawed mentality because, I mean, think about that thought process. Why isn't everyone else doing things exactly like me? Well, that's not how it should be anyway. Everybody else is everybody else, and only you are you. But I've definitely felt like that before. Or if you ever catch yourself, sometimes I try not to, but sometimes I'll come up to the gym. All of the cardio bikes that I like are taken. And these guys, I mean, it's a YMCA. Everybody isn't really like Sam, bodybuilder, big dude, whatever. But not everyone is going to be and do everything exactly like you do. So where's this energy even coming from where that's kind of upsetting you? It's almost a thought process along the lines of like, just let them do what they do. You focus on your own stuff. Don't let any kind of thing distract you or anything. Just if you really are this locked in guy who you think you are, and like you're judging someone else for not being as locked in as you, well, would someone who's really locked in even really care? All they care about is what they're doing and making sure they're getting after their own stuff. It's I'm not saying you should box yourself in, but the more mental focus that you can kind of condense on just this little inner circle of stuff that you do, the people that you like to be around, the places that you're going in your day, that's what needs a lot of focus and attention. And everything else, if you try not to even really think about or like let bother you or just get rage baited by sometimes, like, the better, right? So you're not their dad. Let them do what they're doing. You just focus on what you're doing. It's kind of my logic. But I've definitely had that feeling before, and I caught myself where I'm like, what? Why do I care if this like 65-year-old woman isn't really pedaling that hard? Why am I even thinking that? I'll just do the treadmill. Like we're all paying the same membership. You don't have extra rights to use any piece of equipment just because you're really big or something. So it's a natural thought to have, but it is a wrong thought to have. I think you got to kind of overcome that and just like focus on your own stuff, I think. How do we deal with loneliness? We're focused as fuck that we ain't got time for anything else. The gym is kind of like my therapy. I enjoy suffering and lifting weights to a point that it governs my mental health. But this has turned into leading to me being isolated in the gym and outside. So he didn't actually drop an F-bomb. He just said AF, but whoops. I'm not going to go back and censor it out. So sorry about that. But I think there's a fine line of what we'd call consistency versus compulsiveness with the gym. I want the gym to add to my day. I want the gym to be something I enjoy to do because I want to do it. I don't want it to ever feel like I have to do it, because I want all my motivation for the gym to come like within. Like, I want to come do all this stuff. I want to do my cardio. I want to get a pump. I want to do my, stick to my calories so I can get leaner. Like, if it's something that I want to do, then I do it even harder. So what you're describing, it might be a situation where you feel like, and this is just, a guess kind of, but why exactly are you so consistent? Is it a feeling where it's kind of a comfort from maybe something else that's going on in your day? Right? I'm not totally sure, but try not to. You don't want it to take over your life like that. I want it to be complementary to my life. I want it to be an activity I'm excited to do every day. If you ever catch yourself feeling this like need rather than desire to hit the gym, it may be ill-sourced. So just do a little kind of reflection and think, why are you doing the things that you do? What are your values? How long have you been doing it for whatever reason you've been doing it for? And just kind of try to adjust accordingly. But that's a deep one. I'm not sure that was even an awesome answer, but definitely worth thinking within about. Best advice to get out of a lifting slump. I've been lifting for 5 years consistently, and sometimes I don't have the same fire to train. I still get it done every time. I just feel like I'm dragging myself through everything. Thanks, Sam. I don't know. This is getting back to what I said earlier about how I feel really good that I've always got a goal. And I think having a goal is a big-ass chunk of it. Because if you have a goal, that means that you have a why. And if you have a why, you're going to somehow come up with a how, and then, it's just going to kind of ball forward like that. So for me, I'm like, okay, I'm either in a state of getting leaner, dieting, extra cardio, or I'm getting bigger, heavier, more food, stronger in the gym. And in both of those, I only focus on the positive. When I'm dieting, I'm not thinking to myself, oh, I'm so freaking hungry right now, man, I'm starving. That's not what I'm trying to think about. I never want to think like that. Sometimes I am hungry, but I try not to think that. What I'm thinking is, yeah, I'm getting lean. I can feel that my waist is smaller. Pants that used to be tight because I outgrew them are now actually getting a little bit feasible. Maybe I could bust them out again. And then every time I come into the gym and hit a lean ass pose down, it makes me even that more amped up about it because I know, whoa, this diet's freaking working. And on the other side, holy crap, 260 on the scale, 265 this morning, holy, whoa. And every time I get to come into the gym, I'm super strong. So 6 months ago was a much fatter Sam, relatively to me, of course. And that doesn't really get to me because I know that's just the price I'm paying in exchange for being super strong, getting bigger and growing, and having really fun lifts. For me to lift bulked is the most fun that I have in the gym ever. I don't look as crazy as I do now, but the feeling of just that strength and size and heft is worth it to me. But it's good to have both sides of that coin, because right now I also feel really good. It kind of plays off each other. So I always have something that I want to work on and enjoy improving, no matter if I'm trying to lose weight or gain it. And by thinking like that, it just makes me feel like it's easier to stick to it. And I've always got something I'm working toward. So I think maybe you got to kind of lock yourself down and say, okay, over these next 3 months, I want to do this. I want to lose 15 pounds of body fat. I want to gain 10 pounds on the scale. I want to build my bench. I want to, something like that. And to have a quantifiable goal that you want to reach usually might make it a little easier to bring it because you're working towards something on a semi-short scale. One thing you would say to anyone trying to pursue greatness in something, regardless of bodybuilding or biking or running, gymnastics, education, you've got to, I think this is kind of getting back into what I was saying before about that goal with your 20s question, but you do it because you want to do it. Because if you actually want to do something and get better at doing something, well, then you don't have to rely on any other external factor to make you do it or to make you want to do it.